we say is dealing with a sense of how we experience reality and how we know through our own perception what is physical reality. And in our work we tend to play with the virtual reality, say for this piece like the 40-part motet, how you get a sense of people here, but it's really only speakers, wires, and it's the illusion of people. So, but I think with the memory part is that when you work with any kind of audio, you're always dealing with memory. It's like with my voice now, you can't not be in the past because you're putting sentences together, right? So audio is different than when you're looking at a visual work of art, because a visual one you can look back, you look forward, you see everything all at once and it stays there for however long you look at it. But with audio, you're having to use the memory. And I think that's what first attracted me to using audio, was that it dealt with memory in the way that I was interested in dealing with it, and that it's very unclear once it passes through your filters.
We also like to mess with people, basically. I mean, I haven't told about friends.
You don't want to know our schedule for next year.
I mean, we're deeply rooted in Canada, I think, and that's why we've moved back to live in the middle of nowhere. What's interesting about that question is, I think we're more influenced by our move to Lethbridge. I think when we moved from Toronto to Lethbridge, Alberta, which is a very small, not a small town, but a small city, and that's when we started I would consider our mature work, or our better work. We just were doing crap before that, but we started being able to kind of step back from the Canadian art scene, perhaps, and say what really interests us, what makes us tick. And so being away from any kind of art system and oppressive whatever, thing, kind of tautology of what you should be making, allowed us just to explore and begin making the work that really interested us. I mean, we often deal with that idea, the memory palace. I don't know if do you know what a memory palace is?
No.
It's an ancient technique for remembering things. You create a palace basically in your mind, and when you want to remember something, you put it in a specific place in that architecture that you've got in your mind. So then you can go to that door, through another door, down a hallway, down a set of stairs, go around the corner, and then, oh, that's what I would need to remember. I mean, it really relates to our work very well, though, because of the idea of the memory palace, because the works are quite immersive, and you go into them, and the idea of a memory palace is not to be lost in the memory palace. If you're lost in there, you're not using it correctly. Yeah. But so our works are very much about that, getting lost. But anyway, yeah, so it's really, what can you expect? As a viewer, you don't expect anything. You go into a dark room and you get your senses hopefully tickled.
I think the main thing for the viewers to come to our show is to expect to have fun. Playfulness and fun where you are thinking, and maybe it transports you into a different world, but it's a playful exploration. I used to teach at university, but I think it's mainly that there's way too much bad art out there. If you really don't want to make art, don't do it.
Get the hell out. Great advice. But my advice would be that success, though, isn't the important thing.
Yeah, exactly.
If you enjoy making what you're making, and you enjoy what you've made, and you can there's a buzz that you get from creating, and that's enough, really. And if you don't get that buzz, then you should get out of it and do something else.
Except you can't live on love.
And
no
also
one's really isolated anymore.
Also, my other advice is don't listen to us.
That's great. That's a great way to end it. I wanted to thank you, Janet Cardiff and George Bruce Miller, for the interview.
You're welcome.
Good luck with your show.